Hello folks, this is Audiotron 1003 and this is a look at a Lego set from 1983, 6930 Legoland's vintage space set that I've taken from my layout. This is called the Command Center and it comes with 4 minifigures, 2 in yellow, 2 in red. There's 2 flying, hovering sort of vehicles, and there's 2 land-based vehicles for research, and of course you've got your command center. It's an old style box. It has a flap, so if I lift it up, there's an 80s kid. Sorry about that. There you go. Deep in concentration. One day he might have become an astronaut, who knows. So we've got some alternative builds just there. There you go. And in those days the base plate would be at the back, the minifigures, probably accessories there, instructions at the bottom of the box as well, and then the rest of the elements in that sort of quarter circle section. Now there are some pieces in there, they're just spares, because I've got several sets stored in this little box, and these are just spares that I didn't want to lose. So if I take that down and show you the side, so we have product, simply that without the light on it, product shots of the dudes in action, another shot, there they go, a bit out there doing some research, another view of this box just with that, and then the back of the box with some other alternative builds. Okay, so you get to see the other side, and also other such things. So it's a nice little set. I never had this because I stopped collecting space Lego around about 1981, 82. So that was never in my collection. By then, 1983, I was in college doing academia, and I was more or less, I'd finished with Lego, so I was entering my dark ages by then. So this is it. This is the set. I believe that it's accurate in terms of its pieces being authentic to that time period. Some of them are obvious, such as these, the printed pieces like that. I'm a bit suspicious about greys, but then again I can't tell the difference between a clean old grey and a yellowy old grey, and when I put a new light grey there, I get so confused. But I understand that old greys were in existence all the way up to the early 2000s, so I'm just going to have to trust this to be accurate within reason. So what I'll do is, before I look at the vehicles, I'll take these off, and this one here, and I'll leave him in. So this is the command center. That's the main bridge, if you like. I've opened these up, so there's your storage containers for whatever reason. Maybe if they've been out exploring, they come back and put stuff in there. So there's 2 of those, and there's the infamous arrows that these sets used to use, which meant look in here, pull this out, push that in, etc. You've got your space logo, and like I've mentioned maybe before in other videos, I always think of the Zanussi washing machine logo, which is why I used to call this planet Zanussi. There's one of the figures, and all 4 figures are in good condition. They've all got gold on them, so that's good. So there's the little platforms for the hovering devices. These are radar dish type elements. They swivel. they're attached to that kind of ray gun torch thing, so they just swivel. There's 2 of those, and there's the other one. You've got it on 8 stanchions which are connected to the base plate, and this is a very good base plate. This is very early. In fact, I know how old this is. This is probably from 1978-79, because it's mine. Because the one I got with the set was a bit yellowy, and I dug mine out of the roof not so long ago, and I decided my base plate was in better condition and it was textured, so it's an earlier base plate to the set. So I've kept the original base plate that's in the roof, just being stored. So if I turn it round, we have a very plain back. There's an antenna that's sticking out. Very easy to snap these off, they just come off, so they're only held on by those modified plates. So and the thing is, this bar is very thick, so it will go in that hole, but it's hard to get it out, and with it being vintage, I don't want to have to go on Bricklink and buy another one. I think that's a bit of yellowing, but it's not much, so I'm not too bothered. There's the other one. The back of the radar dishes. I think I might have forgotten to put something in the middle, because they're not normally that blank, but since I'm taking this apart, it's not really worth it. But I'll just check to see if there's anything on the box. So I have a feeling I should have put a couple of green lights or something, I don't know. It's hard to say from the product shot. But anyway, enough of that. So turn this round a bit more. You've got 2 computer consoles and room for 2 minifigure astronauts. There's nothing on the back. I'll see if I can do this. There's nothing on the back, it's just plain. So if I put it that way, these would be down, and you would see it from that perspective through there, so everybody would be down below doing their thing. So that's the basic building, if you can call it that. Now I'll look at one of the hovers, this hovering craft. There's 2 of them, very simple. If it had wheels on, it would be a little buggy type thing, but instead this thing hovers. And we get 2, so they're the same. There's a radio on one side, a ray gun torch thing on the other, a steering wheel, and your little jet propulsion things, and then this. So that goes on there. The minifigure literally just sits like that, and then as a kid, if I had this set, I would have zoomed it around like so, going up and down, because I think that's basically the intention, a bit like a hovercraft goes over the surface. So that's the other one. So you put you there, and we have this thing, a sort of a rover. It's got another one of those letterbox, mailbox type things at the back. We have a some kind of sighting device, so the minifigure would hold that, look through that hole there. So if I turn it round, you would look through that hole and you'd sight onto something, like in this case that logo. So that's what that would be. This has a red minifigure with gold in good condition, and he just drives around doing his scanning, whatever he does. Park him in there, out of the way, get him out of the sun's radiation best I can. And this other thing, I suspect this sort of goes round, picks up samples, puts them in those funny little hoppers. That's supposed to be that way. There's nothing to attach to it. He just drives around, and once again, is it going to focus? See if I can do it with my hand. That's the trouble with these tablets, I never know what they're going to focus on. There we go. So he's got plenty of gold. So I suspect this set wasn't used much over the years. Little driving wheel. And then in those days you had your towing equipment like that. These are very old grey, I know they are, because of the where the sprues were attached to the pieces. If it's anything like that, you know that it was made really early, around the 70s. And then you've got your two hoppers, and I suspect you would put your little rocks, moon rocks, etc. in there. We have a detector, like a metal detector type thing, and that looks like an axe to me, but I suppose you could use it as a geological axe. So chip a bit of rock off, put it in the sample hopper, drive it back, take it to a laboratory. So I'll pop that in there. Okay, so that's the set. And before I end the video, I noticed something when I was looking for bits and bobs for my small layout. I went into the roof and I found a number of these. Now these are the landing pads. They either did these, or they did T-junctions, or they did these moon crater base plate things. This one is special to me because this goes back to my very first space Lego set, and it's 1978. Just going to do this. Hope so. Ah, upside down. My bad. Okay. 1978 Lego. Okay. And it's a pale yellow. This is not washed out. This is as it is. Because I remember these sets being like this. And if I just turn to what's left of my space layout before I take it apart, this is how they should be. And also the print design, if I move these out of the way, is a little different too. Take him out of the way. Move this along so that lines up. Right, so that's how you would do it. You would line this up to a T-junction or something. Not only is the yellows different, but the print pattern's different. So where the yellow circle meets these yellow bars, you have a gap. But in these, there isn't. So it's two different colours, technically, and it's two different print designs. So these must have been the prototypes, as it were, and they must have refined the pattern and changed it to these. So I just thought I'd add that on, since it saved me making a separate video to show that piece of quirky early plate history. So anyway, so this is it. This is the Lego Space Command 6930 from 1983. I'll just move that around a bit. There we go. There. So from 1983. So thanks for watching. Bye.